A question that I get asked often is, how do I get started? And it's really a complicated question, and there could be 100 different answers because it really depends on the person's situation. I feel like I need to ask a whole bunch of questions of the person to find out what their situation is and where have they gotten so far, what have they done, what's the current occupation, what's their time availability, what types of materials have they learned, read, looked at videos, gone online and tried to study this kind of thing. But it's not an easy thing to ask, and it's not easy to get to the right answers. But really, it boils down to a few basic answers, a few basic things that a person needs to do, and that's what I want to try to help you with. And so the questions come from people who are maybe young and not too long out of college, and they want to know, how do I invest in real estate? Maybe they have a few dollars that they want to invest in something and buy something. And I have to ask the questions about what exactly do you want to do? Or it could be somebody who's more seasoned and professional, and they've run into specific problems or challenges in their own career and their own financing that they need to solve. They might have a high income and they have tax issues. They might be in jobs that they don't really enjoy, or a career that's not all that fulfilling, or they need to make a transition. They want to try to build some wealth and develop some income, maybe a third party. This is their side hustle, and they need to be able to support themselves off of something other than their main job. A lot of different reasons, or they might even be approaching retirement. I get this question a lot from people who are near a retirement age and realize they're not as far along as they wanted to be. They can retire and maybe they're comfortable and they can do most of what they want, but they want to provide some additional financial security for their family. And so there are a few things every one of them need to answer for themselves. They need to decide what their commitment is, what they really want to do to invest in real estate. Do they want to put dollars into somebody else's real estate and have it not be an ongoing demand of their time? Because it really could be. It could be real estate could take time out of every single day if that's what you want, and maybe it's challenging or fulfilling, or maybe you want it to be a learning process, and you see that as this is what I want to be doing with my time, is spending on real estate. Or maybe you're thinking, I don't want to put a lot of time into real estate. I want somebody else to do the complicated things for me, and I definitely don't want to take phone calls from tenants. And it's something that I want. I want the right person to be managing my money in real estate, and have it be more of a passive deal. And those are great options. You still have benefits out of real estate, but maybe you're not quite as involved, or something in between. You might want to be a manager on a larger property. You might have a lot of skills that you could contribute to managing a large apartment complex. Maybe your analytical skills, you're good at math or numbers or spreadsheets or technology in general. You might have a good software background and can figure things out from a tech perspective. Or you might be a person who's very relationship oriented, and you have other friends and family in your network who you can bring to a deal, but you want to be able to benefit from yourself. You're not going to be involved in the day-to-day operations necessarily, but you have a lot to contribute, or a whole wide variety of other ways that you can contribute your skills to a real estate investment and be a general partner, maybe a manager in a deal, but possibly not the primary one. You might have sales skills that you're out calling on brokers. I don't mind calling brokers and hey, give me some direction here and tell me what to say to a broker and how to find the right deal and analysis of markets and all those things. And I'll be the one. I'll pick up the phone, I'll call the broker and develop the relationship and have deals sent to me. Those are awesome ways to get started. There's just a scratch in the surface of what you want. So here are a few things to think about. First of all, what's your own personal financial situation? Do you want to put money into a deal? Do you have a lot of money or a little bit of money? And you have maybe multiple six figures that you got to put to work. You got to have it working for you and making money for you, or seven figures or something like that. It's a great problem to have, of course, but you might have discovered that your money in the stock market, well, the stock market today is going gangbusters. Everybody's making money in the stock market. But how long have you been in the stock market? Have you been in long enough to see that it's not always that way? Are you just recovering from the last time the stock market did a big crash? Most of us are intuitive enough to see that the stock market can take tumbles, and it's way high now, but it could be taking a drop in the future, the near future, the distant future, who knows. But you want more control, and so that's why you're getting into the stock market. There are multiple ways for you to do it. If you have a high-paying income, a decent job, and you don't want to leave it right now, you don't want to put your family in peril by jumping into another money-making adventure like real estate, you probably don't want to be taking too active of a role in a real estate investment. And so you're taking your money and finding it into passive deals. And so the thing to do is to find a reliable, trustworthy operator, somebody who has a track record and experience of not just buying properties, but have they gone full cycle. And there's actually a lot of critical questions that you have to ask. Hit me up and I'll be glad to share them with you. But you need to ask a lot more than just 3 to 5 questions of an operator. It's 10, 20, 50, 100 different questions. And a good operator should be ready and willing to answer them for you. These are people who are buying multifamily deals, who have sold multifamily deals, who have made returns. They're not just people who, hey, I've been buying for the last 3 years and I bought these great properties and now we expect the valuations are up to this level and we've added this much value to the properties and we're paying distributions. All that's great feedback for an operator, but it is not the whole story. Would you trust them if they've never sold a deal? Maybe. Not necessarily. It's good to see that they're experienced and know what they're talking about and have proven it by selling deals. So those are some of the things to look for. In today's environment, of course, not many people have sold deals the last couple of years, 2 or 3 years or so. So you might be limiting yourself if you require that, but still, it's something that you should be asking for. And so, on the opposite end of the spectrum, somebody who has really no money. I have a good job and I make my income, but I want to be investing in real estate and I want to get started now. Everybody told me to, and so this is the thing to do. And that's a great position to be in as well. Smart of you to be thinking of that, and you need to be thinking long term, but don't be scared of it because you have no money to put into it right away. There are other ways of contributing to a deal and getting involved in a deal. Particularly back to syndicators or operators, they're always looking for people who have particular skills and time and availability and dedication and and hunger. Are you innovative and are you hungry and are you a good person to partner up with and help out on a deal? You need to network and find other good syndicators and find ways of getting involved in them with their deals and offer what you can. Think about what your background and skills are. Maybe you're the one who's going to bird dog a deal. You're going to go out and source a deal. You're talking to brokers like, hey, what markets are you interested in? And they name off 3 cities. Well, go online, find brokers in those cities, talk to the brokers, start getting deals sent to you, and do some underwriting if you're capable, or bring in other people who have these skills and help you with the underwriting. Those are ways you can help with a deal and become an important piece to their deal and offer that service to them, offer your time. Other ways are somewhere in between. Maybe you have valuable skills in managing other properties. You've bought some smaller rentals, single family homes, and maybe you've done some fix and flips. You've talked to contractors. You know how to work with a contractor. You know how to get the most out of them, knowing they're trying to scam you off. Their costs or their services are too high, or they're not responding, or you know how to spot somebody who's not worth working with. Those are good people to have also. It's not something that I've always done really well. I've had a background in tech and in underwriting and financials and looking at a property. I can do that pretty well now. Not always, didn't always have that skill or know how to work with contractors. But I'd have a good asset manager on my team, somebody who is skilled at working with contractors and knows how to find them. Those are skills that you can bring to a deal. And so the other thing is that, if you're thinking of wanting to buy a small multifamily property, maybe a 3, 4, or 5 unit apartment in your area, and work on it and manage it yourself, that's another great way to get started. And there are multiple ways. Do you find one on the listing services, maybe Zillow or multiple listing, or does a broker present it to you and you look at it and say, wow, that's great. And you go out and talk to a bank and say, yeah, I'll lend you 65, 70% of the value of that property if it looks like it's going to cash flow, and you determine that it is. You say, great, I've got a banker. I've got somebody who's going to lend me money. And all I need is that 25 or 30% to get the deal done. But that could be a lot of money. It could be a huge amount of money. A 5-unit property in a lot of markets across the U.S. is going to be $100,000 per unit. $500,000. You have $125,000 to put down on it. You're just starting out. Maybe you're young. You might have $100,000, but it might be your last $100,000. Don't put it all into one property. That's not the right way to go. Other creative ways are looking for seller financing deals, talking to owners, finding out who the owners are in certain markets. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about how to do that, but that's an option for you. A seller finance deal is somebody who has gotten to know you and trust you and knows that you're going to make the payments and knows that they're going to get the property back if you don't. But hopefully you're negotiating a deal with a much lower down payment, less than 20%, maybe 15, 10, even lower percent down payment to get into your deal. That's a much more valuable option for somebody getting started. To actually be in the deal, owning the property, managing the property, finding tenants, doing every piece of that work. If you have the time during the day to do that, then that could be a great opportunity. You're going to add value to it. It's all yours. You've done the deal. You're going to get it to cash flowing, and after a few short years, maybe you sell it. You've added a lot of equity and you sell it, and it's all yours. That's a great way to do it. Other options include finding partners, joining up with them, and there are a whole lot besides that, but hopefully that gives you an idea what to get started or how to get started. A recommendation for anybody at this stage of their business is to find good reading materials. There are a few books that are strong books for learning how to do this. And these are people who are immensely experienced and have gone down this road and made mistakes and are sharing you the basics of how to get started. You're not necessarily going to be able to run out and do an investment on your own with just one of these books, but certainly you have a lot more of a foundation to do that. Hit me up again, contact me, and I'll be glad to make recommendations for books. Go to multifamily conferences to learn about it, network with people in your area, and take training classes. Buy training online and follow through on it. Take good notes. Go back and review them, and that should get you on your way. So hopefully this is helpful, and look forward to engaging with you again in the future on more detailed materials.